is everyone today? I am so excited you all are here with us. This is going to be just really a memorable interview. We have Trevor Hairston with us, and he is a coach. He's out of Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut. And what I love the most about Coach Trevor is that he has such a heart to see you heal. And this is why, because he's gone through it himself. He is going to be sharing his story with us that is going to be really empowering, uplifting, enlightening. So I just want you just to sit back, know that you're not alone on your journey. If this resonates with you, share it with a friend, but also we're going to put all the contact information below so that you're not lost. You don't know, like, how the heck do I get in touch with them? Like, this is so insane. This totally resonates with who I am and what I do. So Coach Trevor, thank you so much for being here with us on our How to Heal Naturally Holiday Edition.
Thank you so much for having me. I feel so thankful and grateful that I have this opportunity to share my story, and hopefully it inspires and helps someone out there that has a similar journey, is going through or has gone through something like my story that I'm about to share. So where should I get started? Just from
Yeah, no, I mean, first of all, like, where did you grow up in health and fitness? Was this like part of just the culture with your parents and your environment? Because you're like fully invested. Was it just part of who your family was growing up?
So growing up, it was myself and my older brother, who's about 2 years older than me. I just have my mom and my dad, and I have a younger brother who's 10 years younger. But growing up those first, 10 years or so, my parents had us heavily into sports. So we
Okay.
played football in the fall, and then we played baseball in the spring, and we played basketball in the winter. In the summer, we played a lot of travel baseball. So our parents had us involved in a lot of sports, which involved obviously having us to eat properly, to be able to fuel our bodies, to go out there and compete at a high level. So we played not only rec ball, but we also played, travel, AAU, high competitive sports as well. All the way through high school, I played 3 sports as well, and then I ended up going into playing Division I basketball.
Wow. So when you decided to go through all the sports, and I just love how, like, even you parents out there that have kids, like, I love that you're like, your parents even made sure you were eating right to get like all the nutrients that you needed in your body to be able to do this level of sports. I mean, literally 3 sports in high school, that's like insane. So
Yes.
from there, how did it all develop to where you are now? Like taking it from, just kind of a passion, being, the sports guy, to actually making it more of a career.
Absolutely. So, post high school, went to college and ended up getting a degree in education. Through that time, I started working with at-risk youth as a big brother. Found that that was one of my passions as well. So then I went into social work. So I was a teacher for a little bit out of college, and then I went into social work for 10 years. While being a social worker, I still had my passion for sports. So my brother and I started a company to help athletes who, for whatever reason, after high school or through college, they just didn't get their shot to go professional. So we created 2 professional or semi-pro teams in football and in basketball, and then we wrapped that around with other holistic sports professionals to teach them how to eat properly, stretch, do all the preventative things that you need to do to make sure that we didn't have any injuries. Through that time, working with different professionals, I started to gear myself towards saying, you know what, I love the sports
Yeah.
side of things, but there's a lot more to being an athlete than just the actual sport. You
Mm,
got your sleep, right? You got your hydration,
right.
you have your strength levels, you have your exercise, right?
Yeah.
So those things all together, you got to make sure you're taking all of those things into consideration when you're trying to play at a high level in sports. So during that time, I ended up getting my personal training certificate, then our certification, and then I went back and got my nutrition certification. Got some college credits in there. Became a nutritionist. So along while being a social worker, I was kind of doing this on the side with my
Okay.
sports teams and my sports business, as well as my nutrition and personal training business, being more sports specific. But we weren't really dealing with the general public at that time, but I wanted to make sure that I was doing things the right way when I was,
Right.
teaching them how to move properly.
No, I think that's really important because a lot of times people on the outside looking in, like
Mhm.
if they see an athlete, this probably maybe frustrated you as an athlete because it's like, oh, they just must just have like this gift, like they're just talented. But you're like, no, there's a lot more that goes into that. It's like every portion of your day, like the sleep, the hydration, the eating right, the right exercises to actually get you there, the mindset. There's a like you're right. Like if you're just doing just regular sports, that's one thing. But if you're really trying to elevate.
Right.
Now, did you ever go through a time in your life where maybe you've hurt yourself or there was a scenario that made it really difficult to continue forward in what you were doing?
Absolutely, and that's where our business of working with athletes that didn't make it for whatever reason. So I was injured, my brother was injured. A lot of these athletes we worked with were injured, whether it been their freshman year or sophomore year of college. And once that happens, your school says, "Hey, listen, like we're moving on to this, the business here, right?" So
Wow.
these sports is a business. So that happened, and that
Oh,
happened to me. I hurt my back. My brother blew out his knee going to try to play football, professional football. I did doing basketball, and I got to the point where I was when I think I was about 28. I really had a major injury, which herniated two discs in my lower back, L5, S1, and I dealt with that for 2 years, and I was trying to, you know, do everything I could besides have surgery. The doctors
wow.
were basically saying, like if these other things don't work, chiropractic therapy, physical therapy, you losing weight, we did cortisone shots for 2 years
Wow.
in my lower back, taking, pain medication, did it all,
Yeah.
detoxes and anything that, I could do. I tried to avoid having surgery because of the success rate of surgeries, especially in
Yeah.
your back and your spine, aren't very high. And even if you might have, a fusion or something like that, because you might have to, you're still dealing with some of the same ailments and pain and lack of mobility, even though you did have the surgery to fuse a disc or something like that.
Right.
So
Right.
that's what happened with me, dealt with that. And I continued, to search and try to figure out how to, not have surgery to kind of get out of that pain cycle and to get my mobility and flexibility back. And just also, when you're an athlete and you kind of get laid up and you can't do anything,
Yeah.
mentally it drains on you. You become depressed and
Yeah.
it's not a good feeling at all.
Right. No, I was about to say, I feel like, I mean, obviously, if anybody gets injured, I mean, the fun factor is a solid zero. But, when you're an athlete and then you have these dreams and goals and aspirations, and you're already out there getting it done. You've got your team and you're like going, and then it's like you get injured. It's like deer in headlights. It's like,
Mhm.
wait a minute, I've just been looking towards the next game or the next workout or, the next, and then next thing you know, you're in the hospital. And then it's like hours go by, days go by, and just like the reality of like, wait a minute, everything I've trained for, or even just your body is so used to just working out, like just having that, that it's like, I can just imagine mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, it can be like, whoa, hold on. So, what were some techniques that you really adhered to during that time to just not fall under the weight of that?
So it was very difficult. So as an athlete or any type of person who, gets in the zone, right? It could be someone who runs races, right? Or, that runner's high, right? Where everything goes away, right? For
Yes.
that time period and you're
Yes.
just running and you're going. So that a lot of times as athletes get into that, whether you're working out in the gym and right, all you're doing is focusing on your reps and your sets and your blood's flowing and you feel amazing. And that's the only thing that's going on at that time, that zone, right? We look for that in sports, right? Us as athletes, where nothing else matters, everything slows down. You're so
Mm,
focused on what you're doing at the time.
yeah.
That goes away. When that goes away, it becomes very, very difficult. So, I started to really lean on, my faith. I started to do some meditation, obviously surrounding myself with people that were like-minded and that would, lift me up and keep me focused and, keep me looking on the future, versus my circumstances and what could be possible. I started to do a lot of reading, obviously, doing a lot of mindset training. One video that really changed my life, was Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret. So I
Ooh,
listened to that, and that from there really, gave me perspective
I
on,
love that. I love
the
that.
power of your mind, right? Because that's the strangest secret, right? We are
Yes,
what we think about all day long, right? So
yes,
that was the big thing, is that if I was thinking about my injury and my and all of the made up stories that I could put into my brain about me not having this, now guess what? That's exactly what I'm going to get, right?
yeah.
So, I had to I listened to that, and then that really sparked my journey into personal development.
That's incredible. So,
Mhm.
so through this and also, becoming a coach and nutritionist and really just getting the full gamut in the health and wellness world. And how did it affect you? Because I know that also you went into bodybuilding.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's really powerful because I have a lot of audience, we have a lot of people in our audience that are competitors, you know what I'm saying? And trying to do the natural route, but it's been really difficult, really difficult. So how did you navigate through that?
Sure. So, as my journey continued through trying to find a way to naturally heal myself, I hired a coach, a business coach, actually.
Yeah.
So during the business coach conversations, I was telling her about my own personal ailments, right? What was going on, and she was just like, "Have you ever tried intermittent fasting?" And I'm like, no, I haven't. Like, I eat. I'm an athlete. That's all I do. All I'm talking about is how many calories can I eat, because I'm
Yeah.
burning like
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Grams of
I never
protein.
really,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I never really thought about like not eating, right? That was something that just was odd to me, right?
Yes.
So she, that gave me a bunch of literature, gave me some links, gave me some professionals to go look up, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool, especially in men, and I mean in women too, but in men, the percentage of testosterone that pop goes up when you're fasting was incredible. So I'm like, wait a minute, like, you're telling me by fasting it's going to give my body time to digest, right? It's going to give my body time to heal, because if we're digesting all day long, right, that blood and all those nutrients, all that stuff is going to our stomach, right? And it's constantly just going to our stomach, and all that
Yes.
energy is going to our stomach to digest into our, our digestive system. But if you give that a break, your body then goes into detoxification to get all the junk out, right? Your liver, your spleen, your small intestines start to work properly to get all the junk out. And inflammation, right? Because a lot of times, right, inflammation is what is causing a lot of your pain, pretty much
Mhm.
99% of the time, right? Like when we jam our finger, right, all of a sudden it doesn't hurt immediately, and then it starts swelling, and then, oh man, here comes the pain,
Yeah.
right? So when all that inflammation goes in there, that's where pain happens. So what I did was I started doing intermittent fasting. I started with doing, 12 hours. I would do like a 12-hour of eating, 12-hour fasting. Then I would go to a 16-8. So 16 or 8 hours of eating, 16 of fasting. And then I got to the point where I was up to 48 hours of fasting.
Oh,
And that's
wow.
where I read and I found that, that's kind of where the max is, where you don't start to go catabolic, meaning you're burning away your muscles
No, it's
and your
good.
protein
That's
in your
good.
muscles, right?
Yes.
So, that 48 hours, I started to do that, over a few months. I lost a ton of weight. I got super lean. The leanest I've ever been, probably since like before lifting weights, and being an athlete. And she was just like, she was also a coach for bodybuilding. And she was just like, hey, listen, do you ever think of doing a show? And I'm like, nah, I'm not doing shows. I'm an athlete. I'm not gonna be out there in these little shorts and
Yeah,
these
you're like,
little
no, what
underwear,
do you mean?
like
I throw
wrestling
stuff.
all the
I
time. I'm hitting
tackle
like the give me the
things.
ball, I'm shooting, I'm throwing, I'm tackling, I'm not,
Yeah, yeah.
that the walking on stage thing. So that's when I was introduced at the age of 32, 33, 32, 33 years old. I'm 44 now.
Okay.
So it was like 32, 33 years old. I was introduced to the bodybuilding world and intermittent fasting. And I kind of, like I said, I kind of turned me towards that stage of getting into, because the reason why I even hired that coach was to get online. So she was a a renowned online fitness coach.
Yeah.
And that's where I wanted to take my business at that time. So that's kind of where I was introduced to the intermittent fasting, which really helped me to heal naturally and my body do what it needed to do.
I love that. And you know what? I love that you took all these risks, like you allowed yourself to pivot to different directions, and that you were, open to receiving, as, having a coach and not bucking against her, but being like, whoa, I didn't think we were doing that. But you're like, okay, at some point we have to trust, right? At some point we have to trust. And so, even audience, I want you to listen to really what coach is talking about right now. Is, you might be going through something in your life, or you might be used to being on a certain track, or this is how you've always done it, or this is how your circle does it. And maybe this is resonating with you, because what you put out is what you attract, and what you're seeking, seeks you. And so I would just really encourage you to reach out, especially too, if you are someone who's injured and you've gone through different things, and maybe bodybuilding is something that you've thought about, but you've never actually heard someone share the story of how you can actually, get involved in something like that as well. So what are some techniques or tips, tricks that you would like to leave with our audience, or just share with our audience, of what's like really helped you, especially going through this holiday season now that you've been in this for a long time, and you've had all these clients throughout the years? What would you say was just super helpful going through this season, with like the stress and the food and all the things?
Absolutely. So what I found super helpful for not only myself, but also for my clients, is just to kind of find out, what your body is burning, right? For calories,
Yeah.
right? Start tracking now so that you just kind of have an idea. So you can use apps like, MyFitnessPal. I have an app that you can do. There's a calculation. You can just go in and put that calculation. Google, I want to find my resting metabolic rate. And, you can go in there and put in your age, your height, your weight, and it'll give you a spit out number. That number isn't always super accurate, but it's going to be somewhere in the range of where you're at to maybe 300 to 500 calories off. But at least you have an idea, right? So
Yeah,
like,
that's good.
for instance, it tells you, you can eat 2,000 calories a day, right?
Yeah.
So then you can go in these apps, there's free apps, like my own, where you can go in there and just track your food. All you do is scan a bunch of labels,
I
track
love
the food,
that.
track the calories, just get an idea of what most people have no idea
You're right. No, yeah, you're right.
what they're eating,
They
right?
have no,
Or how their body's utilizing,
yeah,
right? So you can now then go there, have an idea, so that when you go into these Christmas parties, when you go on these holidays, right, you can kind of say, all right, during the week, right, 7 days, 2,000 calories a day, we're eating 14,000 calories for the week, right? So now you know that during the weekend, you're probably going to eat probably 8 to 9, maybe even a 3,000 calories that day. Guess what? Now you got to take that 1,100 for that week before to make sure you're eating a little bit less. So when you lead up to that, you're not, like way over the top of what your
right.
body actually utilize on a weekly basis. So that's one thing. Next thing is just drink more water, right? Before you go,
Yes.
or before your meals, have a nice big glass of water, right? Right
Yes.
before you eat. And then have another one while you're eating. And then have another one after, so you're not going to go and indulge at 6 cookies. You can just have one, right? Or
Yeah.
3 pieces of pie. You can have a half a slice, 3 different ones. So you feel satisfied. You feel like you can still enjoy life. You can still enjoy your family and enjoy the holidays. Because I think, balance is key. I'm not one to be like, you need to cut everything and start this and do that. Like, everything should be gradual and progressive, so that something that you're doing can become your lifestyle versus a diet.
Oh, that's so good. No, and I love that you talk about that too, because a lot of times people will be like, what do you mean? I haven't, I don't eat that much. And it's like, okay, well, just track it. Just give it a shot. And I love that you mentioned that there's so many apps out there that help you track. Okay. And And then when they see it, they're like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me right now? Like I had no idea. Like I had no idea, you know? And so I think that's definitely brilliant. And then also hydration, getting your water in, we just don't drink enough water unless we're really intentional about it. So I
Right.
love that that's, what you talk about is just making everything intentional, what you eat, how much you eat, drinking your water. Like if you're really serious about your health and healing and really hitting your goals, you have to be intentional. You can't just flow or just be like, well,
Mhm.
this kind of feels right, kind of thing.
Yep. It's
No,
it's
that
like a
is so
ship
good.
without a destination, right? Like if we just set out on the ocean, we have no destination. You just kind of float around, right? And that's
Yes,
you
yes,
got to
exactly.
have a
Especially on the
destination.
holidays too. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Because we'll like show up at a party hungry, and then we just start talking, and we're drinking, and we're eating, and we're not intentional. And next thing you know, we're like wondering why going into January we've gained so much, or we're not taking care of ourselves, so our immune system drops, and then we get like some kind of like cold or flu, or so to try to keep all of that up. No, that's brilliant. I love that. So because you deal so much with your clients and all of that on the daily, I know that you have to be like really focused and on point in your own life. What are some things that you do? Do you have like a morning routine that, or like a miracle morning that you do that actually keeps you really centered and focused for the day?
Absolutely. So every morning I wake up at 5:15
Okay.
a.m. I have, all of my vitamins, my waters, my coffee, my pre-workout, and I head to the gym. So I work out, I get my own workout and take care of my own self first, right? It's just like
Okay.
being, on a plane. They tell you to put the oxygen mask on first before you go and
Yes.
help anybody else, right? So I want to make sure that my day, I am at the best of what I can be so that I can do what I do, right? And
I love
provide a
that.
service and be with my family, and be the best version of me for the rest of the day because I took care of myself first. So I go to the gym, come home, have my shake. Then I go ahead and do my reading. I literally schedule every part of my day just so I can give you for instance, like on my calendar, here, I literally have wake up, then gym time, then I have all of my online client check-ins, all my
Yeah.
programming, all my messaging, 7 a.m. From 7 to 8, and then I get ready for the day from 8 to 9, and then I 8 to 8:30, like taking showers, do all that stuff, and then from 8:30 to 9, I do my read. I read something for 30 minutes, and I fill out my gratitude book.
Wow.
Just filling out what I'm grateful for my life for that day, and that's kind of how I start my day. And then 9 o'clock comes around, like I'm working Zooms and I'm doing all my
Right,
social
right, right.
posts,
It's like,
and
bring it
then our
on.
days going. Yeah, then we're going till about 8, 9 o'clock at night.
I
So
love that. I love that. That's so powerful because it's like even just watching you online, I've been following coach for a while, and it's like you can feel the brightness and you can feel like just someone that you can just really trust because they're grounded, themselves, which is so good. And I love too that it's not like the way your routine works. I love that you do that, the way that you do it, because it works for you, but you're
correct.
still getting all those elements in body, soul, mind, and spirit, before really launching into the day and having, life just kind of take over. And so that's so important. And, the other thing too that this is something that I'm really excited about. Our coach here also has a free giveaway, and I know this is already so generous for you to actually take the time today to actually be here with us and share and pour into us and encourage and inspire. But also, too, we have a free giveaway that he's wanting to offer us. So, why don't you share with us what that is?
Absolutely. So before I share the free gift, I wanted to just share one more thing that I didn't touch on, which I should have when you said, how do you start your day? So I actually start my day the night before. So I
Mm.
start my day when I go to bed. So
Okay.
when I shifted that mindset of I'm going to sleep when I close my eyes at night, that's the start of my day. But then I'm waking up already 6, 7, 8 hours into my day, ready to go, raring to go. You know what I'm saying? To start, my engine is already started when I go to sleep.
I
Because
love
that's the
that.
time when your body actually is recovering and repairing and getting ready for the next day. So a lot of people think the sleep is the end of the day. It actually
Right.
is the beginning of your day. So that little tidbit of shift in your mindset of sleep, you're going to bed is the start of your day, will change the way you wake up in the morning as well.
You know what? I love that you mentioned that because, first of all, I've never heard anyone say that before, which is like brilliant, but it totally makes sense because if you end up if you're not intentional about making sure you go to bed and you sleep well and you know what you need to do to make sure that you sleep well, you know, what to eat, what not to eat, what to drink, what not to drink, you know what I'm saying? But when you get that solid sleep, there's healing in it. And like exactly what you're saying, when you go into your day, it's like your mind is clear, you're already in the flow. So that's so important. I mean, if anything, that's like so good. I so appreciate you sharing that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you have trouble waking up, you can use the 5 second rule, Mel Robbins.
Yes.
You know what that is,
Yeah.
but to our viewers out here, the 5 second rule is if you ever find yourself procrastinating or whatever it may be, you got to take, you got to take action on something, but you just can't. You just count down from five, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you go,
Yeah.
right? Blast off, get up, go. The horn sounds, whatever. Like it's already programmed in our brain when we count down from 5. Like something's gonna happen at the end of
Yes.
it. So that'll help you as
That's
well.
good. Yes.
So to get into the gift that I'm sharing, I do have a free app that's in your App Store, your Apple Play Store, or Google Play Store, and your Apple store as well. It's called Hairston Family Fitness. Hairston, my last name, Family Fitness. You just go on there, you can download the app, and I'm giving away a free 30-day program
Nice.
of your choice. You can pick whatever you want. We have, workout programs on there, diet programs on there, a mix, a coaching, whatever you want for free. You can go right on there and download that and get 30 days of one of our programs for free.
That is so awesome. Thank you. That's amazing. And what would you like to leave with our audience today? I mean, this has really just been so powerful. I mean, just the sleeping techniques, the intermittent fasting, and it just explaining that, and just your own personal journey is like just such a gift to hear. But as we close, what are some nuggets that we can kind of take throughout our day?
I would say gratitude.
Mm,
Having an attitude of gratitude to start your
mm,
day is very, very important. Secondly, having a plan, planning your day, structuring your day, or your day is going to be planned for you. So whatever way you think
yeah,
about it, like if you don't want to plan it, guess what? It's going to be planned for you. Either your boss is going to plan your day, your family's going to plan your day, the traffic's going to plan your day, whatever, right? It's going to happen if you don't plan it. Thirdly, that our bodies, right, are a miracle and we only get one. So
yeah,
we need to make sure that we take care of it, understand how it works, and be mindful of that you only have one body and we need to take care of it so that we can then share, our gift of what God has given us to the world. Because
that's
without that, without your body, and your mind and your soul, that you have nothing.
I love that.
So.
No, that's so good. That's so good to end on because you're such an incredible model of what you teach and valuing ourselves, everything from our body, soul, mind, and spirit. It's not just exterior, but it's also just mindset, the internal, and all of that, just really valuing all the things. It's just so incredible. Like this is honestly such an incredible interview. I literally feel like I've like have just like read an entire book that you've like written and you've explained and you've like dissected and I've like already received it. So audience, I know that you all are feeling the same way I am right now about Coach Trevor and all that he has to offer and even his free giveaway. We'll have all the information underneath on how to contact him, how to get that, how to download everything. And if you have any questions or concerns, please get in touch with us. Again, you all know how much I love you and adore you, and you are not alone on your journey. Coach Trevor, myself, our team, we're definitely here for you. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you. So welcome and thank
We
you for having me.
appreciate you.
Absolutely.